Hey y'all, it's me and the critters everywhere. We're going to go feed the outside critters, the feathery ones. If I can get these guys out of the way, you need to move. You're in the way. Over there's one in front of that door. They are everywhere. All right. I've got my little bucket that goes under my sink that I put food scraps in. I toss that on the compost pile once a day, and the chickens eat it. Let me see. Oops, I'm dropping things. I might have you just shook up all over the place trying to do this one. Pops is over there on Aaron's little tractor. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing something. Yesterday, my sister that lives in Michigan spent the day with me, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time. Let me show you this. Hugh put in a clothesline for me. If you remember, we had the clothesline right here, and yeah, all that stuff's still there. The problem is that the sun sets down over there. So it has a lot of sun in the morning hours, but then by afternoon, by about 2 o'clock, the sun is gone, but it still hits this spot. And, well, I don't always get my laundry out very early. So, anyway, it needed to be in a spot where it would have the daylight hours much, much longer. And this, right here, it has daylight pretty much all day until it goes behind. Right now it's going behind this little walnut tree, but that will be temporary also. It will eventually start moving over that direction. But even if it doesn't, of course the walnut tree will be losing its leaves pretty soon. So that's the bucket that stays under my sink for my scraps. And this is my little solution that I put in all of my critters' water every day that has vitamins that I also get from Amazon. Guys, I'm a terrible person. I know, I'm a terrible person. So I get my vitamins. It's for actually cattle, all the way down to chickens and anything in between. I get the vitamins. It's just a powdered substance that I mix in. I also put little iodine, liquid iodine, and I also put apple cider vinegar, because apple cider vinegar is a really good wormer slash pretty much everything to do with your belly, your intestines, and whatever. It's good probiotic. So let me grab my bucket, and we'll go feed the feathers. that one's Chuck. His little crow's deeper than George, and George is his daddy, by the way. All right, you can see I've already started making use of this room. I don't have it organized yet, and I still don't have my shelves in that I'll be putting across the back. But this is the chicken feed, and our featheries eat about 4 of these full a day, 4 of these little metal pitchers. That's quite a bit. They certainly do not pay for themselves. Most of the eggs we give away to neighbors. Some of them are sold, some of them are bartered. But believe me, it's much cheaper to buy your eggs from the grocery. The only thing is, I enjoy the chickens. I enjoy all the feathers. And let me see what I do with. And that's just really the whole thing with it. Is there's no financial benefit whatsoever. If any of y'all are considering getting chickens in order to help financially, let me encourage you not to do that. You'll be disappointed. But unless you get, just a couple that is just specifically for your family. But if you have as many as we do, there's nothing financially beneficial about it. Alright. Gotta turn on my water. I have two different hoses running out of here. This is our dog lot. Doggies are closed inside right now. I've got to put a wooden fence over there between the two dog lots. They've pulled those little canvas pieces, and that basically those are there just to kind of keep them from seeing each other, because the doggies in the back and my doggies don't do so well. All right. All right. We got our water. But all of this, I want the entire dog lot to just be fenced in with wood, because occasionally we do have a feathery one get in here, or a cat, and it hasn't ended well for either. So I want a good solid fence all the way around where the dogs can't really even see the other creatures, and where the other little critters can't find their way in. But anyway, it's hard sometimes. I'll be shaking you around just a little bit as I pick these buckets up. We have dates everywhere. Hey girls! Hey girls! Hey girls! Hey girls! Let me get the hose. And this hose, of course, has been laying in the sun, so the water coming out of it right now is pretty warm. I'll have to let it run for just a minute before I can fill my water containers. And they fill these, they drink these, because all of the critters come over here and drink out of them. They drink these really mostly empty every day. Probably splash water on my camera, and I don't want to do that. Alright. And now this one, and I do clean it out once a week. The little bit of green in there does not hurt them. I come out and wipe it out once a week. But this one is the only one that I can put their vitamin solution in, because the other one, being metal, the apple cider vinegar will mess with it. So if you have critters, don't put the apple cider vinegar in a metal container. Unless, if it's stainless steel, you can do your own research on that and see if that's safe. I would imagine it would be. But they seem to like the taste of the solution. I've been giving them this really since I've had chickens, several years. And they seem to like it, so I know it's good for them. I try to keep it in the shade just a little bit, keep it from getting hot. I hope y'all are having a good week. Those of you that live out in California, I hope that if you had to experience any of the flooding, that it will be a very, very fast recovery. Those of you in Hawaii, my heart still just breaks for you and what y'all are dealing with in Maui. I'm sure that whether you live on the island of Maui or not, it still has to be, that one's just still totally full, so I'm going to leave it. It still has to be heartbreaking. Here comes the crew. Hey, girls. Hey, girls. Yes, I hear you. I do, I hear you. About half goes in here, and the other half goes over there for those guys. Loudmouth. Alright. You're all balanced. Alright. Hush. Hush. They're mostly full, but I still like to keep them very, very filled. You built this little porch to keep their food dry, so that works. Now, watch out. Move, move, move. Move. You don't want to turn your back on them. You don't want to turn your back on them. Because they're boogers. They think if you turn your back on them, that means you want to be bit in the butt. Move, guys. Move. And that's not the case. That's not the case. Alright. Hey, there's Chuck. There's Chuck. He's our chicken duck rooster. Is he not gorgeous? And of course, here's Ferdinand. He's flirting with the chickens. Girls, I don't understand it. I do not understand it whatsoever. I do not understand it. But he loves to flirt with the chickens. Hi, Ferdy. Well, now turn back around so everybody can see you. He's not in the sun, so you miss the full effect when he's not in the sun. But now that is one beautiful bird right there. He is gorgeous. He's beginning to lose his little tail feathers. And the girls, of course, eat pretty much everything I throw on the compost bin. I don't know what that piece of wood's doing in there. A piece of plastic. You never know how things end up over here. I am not the compost police, y'all. There he is. Look at him. He's gorgeous. And there's his daddy. Thankfully, I have not seen them try to fight yet, and I hope that never comes about. You guys need to be quiet. Why do you have a feather on your nose? Why do you have a feather on your nose? I see you. I see you. Alright, now we have to go back and change over the water because the other water supply, first let me rinse out my bucket. The other water supply goes down to the geese and the ducks' water. Alright. There we go. That works. Yes, and I apologize about the The geese, the only thing I can suggest is when you see them coming, just turn the volume down on your TV or on your phone, whatever you watch on. Because I have no way of making them be quiet. Other than I do sing to them. But I have other things to do today. Alright, let's go over here. Change your water. We'll turn this one off and turn this one on, and then I'm going to set it for 15 minutes because I do let the water run into the pond. Our water right now is running really slow, so to the pond because it's a wet weather spring, and it gets a lot more water in the winter. So right now, just helping it out a little bit, giving it a little extra water. But the ducks and the geese don't seem to mind, especially the geese. Uh-oh, here we go again. Or especially the ducks. Excuse me. Hey, buddy. Yes, I see you. Now, let's take the rest of the feed over here to the geese and the ducks. They eat over here as well. They don't have any specific spot. Maybe they won't follow us. Silly big mouths. I think they're eating. But, and now, let me explain that I actually empty these and clean them out every single day. You'll see how really gross their water gets. It's like a layer of mud down in it. See, I let the water run down that little stream. And usually the ducks come over. They love to play in that. They usually come over and actually hang out and play in that in their little personal creek. But, so this is 1 day's worth of sludge. Yep, 1 day. The only thing I can figure is that when they're eating, when they're doing whatever they're doing, they actually carry a mouthful of dirt back to the water. However they do that. And it's pretty gross. But, oh well. It's gross. But they do get fresh water every day. That may be the reason that they go and hang out with the chickens and get their water, because they say ours is really gross. Ours is really dirty. They are funny creatures. But I've got a lot going on this week. A lot of tomatoes to put up. But the tomatoes is about every 3 days. And in the interim, I am working on the basement. The basement has not been cleaned in, well, I'd say a good many years. You and I have lived over here about 2 years now. So I know it was a number of years before that. Whoa. Slide down, Patty. Don't do that. So I'm letting it run toward the pond. Put their little water booster in here. There we go. And they all seem to like it well enough, so certainly doesn't keep them from drinking. And they have bowls back here under this little house. I hope before winter time, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing because I can't even see what I'm doing. Hope before winter time to build a little overhang right here so that I don't have to reach under there, and they'll have a higher little roof line where they can get to their food and eat. There we go. There we go. I don't know where the ducks are at. This time of day, they usually go over under the sawmill shed. That's where all the birds go, actually, in the heat of the day. They hang out in the Jeeps. Just wherever it's cool. It's cool under there. And crazy geese. Aren't they funny? I love to watch them walk. Walk and waddle. I don't know where the guineas are. Usually you hear them, but I don't hear them. I do hear Ferdinand over there flirting with the chickens, though. You can hear his little tail feathers. And that one was George. No, excuse me, that one was Chuck. But anyway. All right, let's walk back this direction. I try to keep their oyster shells filled. I just bring over extra every day to refill that. There we go. Now, the bucket I take back inside is the one that I will put the eggs in. And you just raise this little lid up. Yep, and I've got a mama on the nest. And then I hook it. And let's grab our eggs. Uh-oh, that one's yucky. Looks like it's been broken. Sometimes that happens. All right, Mama. I'm sorry. I know. I'm gonna reach under you. I know. Thank you. Good, Mama. Good, Mama. Thank you. Good, Mama. And some of the boxes, they don't seem to use at all. There's like 3 that they do. And the rest of them, they don't. And now that's not as many eggs as we should be getting with all of these chickens. So I know they're finding somewhere different to lay. I suspect that it's over in the barn on top of the bales of hay. That's where I suggest they're laying, but since those bales of hay are stacked 3 high, I'm not climbing up there to find them. I just won't do it. Oh well. Now, I'll bring my bucket over here. And leave the extra oyster shells. In this bucket now, I'm going to fill with dog food. Put it back in the house. That way I don't have to make an extra trip out here. When the inside dog food gets in. Well, I bet this is loud, girls. I'm sorry, and guys. And we have 2 bags to put in here, but I don't like putting it in until it's completely empty. Same thing with the cat food. So that I keep the very freshest on the top. All right, now come on. Hugh usually gives the cats a container full of food when he lets the chickens out in the morning. And then I refill it in the middle of the day, because we have to in the evening when it starts getting dusky dark. We have to put it away, because otherwise we will look out the window and find a skunk. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. We will find a skunk out there dining with the cats. And now that's pretty funny. That is actually pretty funny. Let me gather up all my buckets and baskets. Oops, don't lose your lid. I hear Huey sneezing. Bless his heart. He has allergies, and this time of year, the ragweed and the goldenrod are beginning to assert themselves. Where did I put down my... Well, somewhere I set down my little mason jar. I'll have to find it later. I think I left it in the little building. All right. But the last thing you want is to look out the window and see a skunk having dinner with the cats. And see, there's still plenty left. Partly because the chickens haven't been able to get over here and help. They love cat food. All right. Here we go. I'm going to look around and I see so many things I want to fix and clean. Like this door has been ripped since we used to have the porch all closed in, and we had we had a ramp over here and we had a fence over here where the dogs went to the backyard. And then when Aaron moved up here, we got rid of this ramp. Hugh put, well, actually it was before he moved in, we put in the door through the laundry room, and I have not, as of yet, fixed the screen back on this door. Now here's my dog food box. It's dark in here. Let me turn a light on. And I measure their little food because none of them need to be overfed. Oops. You know what? One more thing. Let me go set down the eggs. Bodie, do you need to go outside, baby? Do you need to go outside? Mimi, be quiet, baby. Shh. I'm sorry. Now the doggies are barking. Come on. Bodie, you need to go outside. Yes, they're very noisy. They're very noisy. Come on, baby. You want to go outside? Nope. He definitely will not go if he does not need to go. So, oh well. It's not his time. But I bring my bucket in here. And I just... refill it inside. So there we go. Now I'm ready not to have to make an unexpected trip out to the little building to get dog food. It's filled and it's ready. Alright. Now as you can see, I'm dripping because I forgot to put my hat on for one thing. Of course, I'd still been dripping. It's hot out there. Let's go see what the temperature is. Oh, gracious. I can feel it dripping off the end of my nose. Alright. Hugh keeps this little dial on the... Yeah, it's 84. It doesn't tell me what the humidity is. I'm saying it's 100%. No, I know it's not because it's not raining, but the humidity is pretty high, so it's warm out there. It is. All right, y'all. I hope you didn't mind spending time with me just feeding the critters. It's a little jumbled, I'm certain, because it's hard to carry this little camera and not shake you all over the place. But I thought, well, that's something I've never taken with me to do. Let's go feed the critters. I love y'all, and I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.